rapidly running away from Akihito Mahara's ability to do damage.
So interesting, this deck. I mean, you end up giving your opponent full knowledge of your hand.
Right.
You have almost total information. You know when they've drawn a land, if they play a land. They constantly, the deck is very mana hungry. They're constantly playing lands.
Right.
Remember, he can flash out that Hunted Dragon at any moment. He's got the Fairy in place. All of his creatures are instant speed. They happen in a flash. But I don't... he's holding Dragonstorm. That's not terribly exciting. Now this game has to be over, right?
I do not see the scenario where Mahara can avoid Game 5.
I'm looking through. So he's got one more Hunted Dragon and one more Hellkite, which he can Dragonstorm out of his deck. He's holding a Dragonstorm, not a Hunted Dragon. And he has no other conceivable method of dealing damage to Nassif. You can't force him to draw cards.
Looks like the message boards are back up.
Oh, great.
Listening out there on the internet, or welcome to get back into the conversation with Brian and I. It's funny, Mizky T with another good point. He was talking about, we had said turn 1 Martyr was game, but he's actually got some experience with the matchup, and no, in fact, there's some ways that Dragonstorm can win even with a turn 1 Martyr. And Mahara came up with 2 of them in games 2 and 3.
Oh, sure, absolutely. I mean, we mentioned that the Trick Bind was going to be...
Here's the Dragonstorm for what we believe is the last 2 dragons in Mahara's deck. That's it. His ability to deal damage is all in play at this point.
When you target more, what token? You can just have...
Hunted Dragon brings out some more tokens.
That's like 6 turns of Urza's Factory.
The Hellkite is forced to kill off a couple of tokens.
Yeah, 21. I only need 1. You killed 2. End of your turn. Stack 1.
He's gaining 9 a turn, and he's being attacked for 11. Yeah, this is over, right? As soon as Gabriel draws another white card, it's mathematically over.
Yes. And he's still got an extra Martyr in play.
Right.
Should something... to buy a whole extra set of turns.
And if he finishes off his Urzatron, he can start proclaiming twice a turn.
Right. No, certainly Nassif needs to have a Wrath or a Faith Fetters or something else to more than just a turn 1 Martyr. But it's assumed that if he has the turn 1 Martyr, he has a handful of white cards. He has a Wrath of God. He has all this good stuff. Not the case in the 2 games that he lost, obviously. So I hope everyone out there appreciates it. We tried to hold this up. We were going to... This game was...
No, this is the right way to play it.
Yeah.
Gabriel Nassif is just a bigger story than the World Team Draft.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, I clearly want to watch those guys play. I want to watch the World Team title get determined, but
I'm certainly
watching the draft versus watching Nassif play out the semifinal match, I want to see if Nassif can pull it off.
It's certainly bittersweet to not watch Camille Cornelison draft, but
no,
again,
I was looking forward to watching Camille and Katsu duel in the draft.
But we will have Pro Tour 2001 Rochester Draft champion Scott Johns keeping an eye on that for us, and he's going to tell us what happened and probably give us a better insight than maybe we'd get on our own.
Fair.
Scott may love that format more than anyone on earth.
Aaron Forsythe.
I was just going to say maybe Aaron. Aaron's Rochester Draft coverage, written Rochester Draft coverage, is among the best stuff ever written about the game. It's fantastic. It's just fantastic. We got
Teferi getting its block on. Yeah, all this. Normally Teferi's pretty good against the blue-white deck, right?
The Martyrs could only put up with so much self-sacrifice before they need to get their beat on. They were joking a little bit about putting 1 Pendelhaven in the deck so that the Martyrs and Weathered Wayfarers would have a little a little bit of a fighting chance when they entered the red zone.
Not attack. Oh, yeah, right. Sorry. It's not.
One of those martyrs came out with proclamation. That one cannot get his beat on yet.
He'll just have to stay back and give himself up for the greater good.
I don't think you can win anymore. I gained 12 a turn. You can only deal 11 damage a turn. And Gigadros doesn't do anything against Proclamation.
Let's see if he's making his case, as Yap asked him, to save a half hour.
And he's right. Mahara nods. Yep, you're right. There's no way for me to possibly win. So there you go. We are headed to game number 5. Massif had a little bit of a scare there in the middle.
Wow.
But compulsive research found in the land he needed on the crucial turn, and he was off to the races, gaining life. Never did bother to sweep the board. Just feathers a couple dragons, and he found the Wrath of God.
He did have to use the Wrath.
But we'll be going to game 5. Hopefully we can maybe get a shot. Yeah, there you go. There's a shot of the team draft that's going on
over
the back
by the
part of
Lotus
stage.
Noir Cafe.
Exactly. I like that. The Dutch have their back to the cafe. You see Metavort and Cornelissen and Naughton looking in. Katsuhiro Mori has his back to us. He's the one with the red spiky hair.
He's the one in the middle.
And he pretty much the only one really participating in this Rochester draft.
He may be the only one participating in this tournament for the Japanese national team in the sense of decision-making. He built the deck. He built the Trisketron deck.
He built the standard deck they all played.
He gave them all that deck. He built the extended deck that they all played.
That's right.
He drafts...
Yeah,
he drafts all the decks.
And he
drafts all 3 decks, and then he builds them all. It was a very funny story, but he's very polite about it.
Yeah.
I think it was... I forget which player has his deck laid out, and he's got 3 Blazing Blade Ascaris and like 2 Subterranean Shamblers, and he's got his Yamamoto, and he's got a bunch of stuff in his sideboard, and Katsu looks over at the deck, and he's like, his Blazing Blade Ascaris are very nice, but what if we cut this 1 here, and we replaced it with this one of these 3 Thal Germinators? Okay, we'll put that there. Oh, that looks pretty good, don't you think? Oh, yeah, nice, very nice. Well, what if this Subterranean Shambler became a Herdnar?
Oh, yeah.
Germinator, Herdnar. That's a pretty good combo. Maybe we should run another Germinator. Another Blazing Blade Ascari. And he keeps rinse and repeat until the 3 Blazing Blade Ascaris and the 2 Subterranean Shamblers have been replaced by 2 Herdnars and 3 Germinators. Very, very politely. Yamamoto may not have even realized it wasn't his own idea. He lets them try. He encourages them to go out on their own, but then brings them back in.
They don't draft any cards that Katsu doesn't want them to draft.
No, absolutely not. He's like, what are those Blazing Blades doing over there? I didn't draft those.
Huh. Go ahead. Nice. Yeah, Katsu went to Itaru Ishida to get direction on Team Rochester Draft. Ishida, of course, a master of that format. Got second at Pro Tour Seattle, losing to Camille Cornelis' team.
He was reciprocated for the draft advice with a constructed deck.
Yeah.
He played Katsuhiro Mori's deck. For years, the Japanese have gone to Itaru Ishida for decks.
True.
But, student is the master turnaround, chronicled in story and song. Ishida took Mori's deck, and he was the top seed after day 1 in the Swiss. 6-0 in standard with it.
Right. He finished in the money, right?
I believe he did. I don't see him on